Let me ask you something honest. When was the last time you woke up and genuinely felt good? Not just okay, not just I got through the day, but truly deeply energized, clear headed, and alive? If you have to stop and think about it, if that feeling seems like a distant memory or maybe something you've never quite experienced at all, then I want you to stay with me right now because what I'm about to share with you could genuinely change the way you eat, the way you feel, and the way you live. I've spent years studying nutrition, speaking with patients, reading the research, and watching people transform their health not through expensive supplements, not through extreme diets, not through punishing themselves, but simply by changing what they put on their plate every single day. And what I've discovered over and over again is that most people are not eating the foods their body is silently begging for. They're surviving, but they are not thriving. And there is a world of difference between those two things. So today, I want to walk you through the top 7 foods that I genuinely believe every person should be eating regularly to protect their health, boost their energy, strengthen their immune system, and feel like the best version of themselves. These aren't trendy superfoods that cost a fortune. These aren't foods reserved for people with fancy gym memberships or a lot of free time. These are real foods backed by real science that real people can start eating today. And I promise you, once you understand why your body needs them, you are going to want to start right away. But before I dive in, I want to ask you something, and I genuinely want to hear your answer. What is the one food you already eat that you consider your personal health secret? The thing you reach for when you want to feel better or take care of yourself? Drop it in the comments below. I read them, I love them, and your answer might just inspire someone else watching this to try something new. So go ahead and leave your comment, and let's get into it. Let's start with number 1, and I want you to pay close attention here because this first food is one that most people either overlook completely or don't eat nearly enough of, even though it's one of the most powerful things you can put in your body. I'm talking about leafy green vegetables. And I know that might not sound exciting, but hear me out. Because once you understand what greens actually do inside your body, you're going to look at spinach, kale, Swiss chard, and arugula in a completely different way. Leafy greens are loaded with vitamins K, C, and folate, along with a range of antioxidants and phytonutrients that work together to protect your cells from damage. And here's something that I find remarkable: the antioxidants found in dark leafy greens actively fight what's called oxidative stress, which is essentially the internal rusting of your body at a cellular level. Oxidative stress is linked to aging, chronic inflammation, heart disease, cognitive decline, and so much more. Every time you eat a generous handful of greens, you are giving your body a powerful shield against that damage. But the benefits don't stop there. Leafy greens are also one of the best sources of nitrates, natural compounds that your body converts into nitric oxide, which helps relax and widen your blood vessels. That means better circulation, lower blood pressure, and more oxygen being delivered to your muscles and your brain. People who eat greens regularly often report feeling more mentally sharp, and there's good reason for that. The brain is incredibly hungry for oxygen, and anything that improves blood flow is going to help you think more clearly. Now, one of the most common things I hear from people is, I don't like the taste of greens. And I completely understand that. But here's what I tell my patients: you don't have to sit down to a plain bowl of kale. Blend spinach into a smoothie with some banana, and you won't taste it at all. Saute greens with garlic and a little olive oil, and they become something completely different and genuinely delicious. Chop them fine and mix them into sauces, soups, or scrambled eggs. The vehicle matters less than the habit. Just get them in. Moving on to number 2, and this one genuinely excites me every time I talk about it because it's so simple and yet so profoundly important. I'm talking about fatty fish, salmon, sardines, mackerel, and trout in particular. These fish are among the richest natural sources of omega 3 fatty acids on the planet, and omega 3s are not optional. They are not a bonus. They are something your body fundamentally needs and cannot make on its own in sufficient quantities, which means you have to get them from food. Here's why I care so deeply about omega 3s. Your brain is made up of roughly 60% fat, and a large portion of that fat is a specific type of omega 3 called DHA. When you don't get enough DHA, your brain quite literally does not have the raw materials it needs to function properly. Research consistently shows that people with higher omega 3 intake have better memory, better mood regulation, and a significantly lower risk of cognitive decline as they age. If you want to protect your mind for the long term, eating fatty fish regularly is one of the most evidence based things you can do. And then there's the heart. Omega 3 fatty acids reduce triglycerides, lower inflammation throughout the body, help regulate heart rhythm, and have been shown in multiple large studies to reduce the risk of heart disease. This is not a fringe claim. This is decades of research pointing in the same direction. The heart and the brain both thrive on omega 3s, and fatty fish delivers them in the most bioavailable, natural form possible. If you're vegetarian or vegan, I hear you. And I want you to know that you can get plant based omega 3s from flax seeds, chia seeds, and walnuts. And I'll talk about a couple of those shortly. But for those who eat fish, I encourage you to aim for at least 2 servings of fatty fish per week. Canned sardines are affordable, easy, and honestly underrated. A piece of salmon doesn't have to be elaborate. This is one of the most important habits you can build for your long term health. Let's talk about number 3 now, and this is one that I think surprises people in the best possible way when they learn about all that it does. I'm talking about berries. Blueberries, strawberries, raspberries, blackberries. All of them are extraordinary, and yet so many people think of them as just a sweet treat rather than a genuine health food. Let me change that perception for you right now. Berries are among the highest antioxidant foods in the entire world. They are packed with something called anthocyanins, the pigments that give them their deep red, purple, and blue colors. And those anthocyanins have been shown to reduce inflammation, improve insulin sensitivity, protect the lining of your blood vessels, and support healthy blood pressure. Studies have looked at populations that eat berries regularly compared to those that don't, and the differences in cardiovascular health and metabolic markers are striking. But what I find most fascinating about berries is their relationship with the brain. There is a growing body of research showing that regular berry consumption is associated with slower rates of cognitive aging. One well known study found that women who ate blueberries and strawberries regularly delayed cognitive aging by up to 2.5 years. That is extraordinary. Just from eating berries, not from a prescription drug, not from a complicated protocol, from something you can buy at any grocery store and throw on top of your yogurt in the morning. And they're versatile. Throw them in smoothies, mix them with oats, add them to salads, eat them by the handful as a snack. Fresh berries are wonderful, but frozen berries are just as nutritious and often more affordable. There is no reason not to be eating berries every single day. And once you start, your body will thank you in ways you can genuinely feel. Now we're at number 4, and this one is a true cornerstone of healthy eating that has been eaten by human civilizations for thousands of years and is finally getting the respect it deserves in modern nutritional science. I'm talking about legumes, beans, lentils, chickpeas, and peas. If you are not eating legumes regularly, you are missing out on one of the most complete and powerful packages of nutrition that nature has to offer. Here's what makes legumes so remarkable. They are simultaneously an excellent source of plant based protein, complex carbohydrates, and fiber, all in one food. That combination is almost unmatched in the plant kingdom. The fiber in legumes is particularly special because it feeds the beneficial bacteria in your gut, which in turn influences everything from your immune system to your mood to your metabolism. We now understand that the gut microbiome, the community of bacteria living in your digestive tract, is deeply connected to your overall health. And fiber from legumes is one of the most powerful ways to nurture that community. Legumes also help stabilize blood sugar levels in a very meaningful way. Because they digest slowly, they don't cause the sharp spikes and crashes in blood glucose that many other carbohydrate sources do. This means more sustained energy, fewer cravings, and better metabolic health over time. For anyone managing or trying to prevent type 2 diabetes, legumes are one of the most therapeutic foods you can eat. And they're cheap. They are genuinely one of the most affordable sources of nutrition on the planet. A can of lentils or chickpeas costs almost nothing and can feed a family. I love telling people about legumes because they are the great equalizer in healthy eating. You do not have to have a lot of money to eat them, and they deliver profound health benefits. Make a lentil soup, toss chickpeas into a salad, blend black beans into a dip. The options are endless, and every serving moves you closer to better health. Number five is one that I want to take a little extra time with because it's something that people have had a complicated and often confused relationship with for decades. I'm talking about nuts, specifically walnuts, almonds, and Brazil nuts. And I want to be very clear about something. Despite what you may have heard during the low fat diet era, healthy fats are not your enemy, they are your ally. And nuts are one of the most concentrated sources of healthy fats, protein, fiber, vitamins, and minerals that exist. Let's start with walnuts because they hold a special place in my heart nutritionally. Walnuts are one of the best plant based sources of omega 3 fatty acids, the same type of brain protecting, inflammation reducing fat found in fatty fish. They're also rich in polyphenols, which are compounds that have been shown to support brain health and reduce oxidative damage. Several studies have linked regular walnut consumption to improved cognitive function and better scores on memory and concentration tests. If you want to eat something that your brain genuinely loves, eat walnuts. Almonds are another powerhouse. They're loaded with vitamin E, magnesium, and monounsaturated fats, the same kind found in olive oil. Vitamin E is a fat soluble antioxidant that plays a crucial role in protecting cell membranes, and many people simply don't get enough of it. Magnesium is involved in over 300 enzymatic reactions in the body, including energy production, muscle and nerve function, and blood sugar regulation. A small handful of almonds a day is a genuinely easy way to address those nutritional gaps. And Brazil nuts, I want to talk about these specifically because they are the single best dietary source of selenium on Earth. Selenium is a trace mineral that many people are deficient in, and it plays a critical role in thyroid function, immune defense, and antioxidant activity. Just 2 or 3 Brazil nuts per day can give you your entire daily requirement of selenium. Just 2 or 3. That is one of the most efficient nutritional strategies I know of. A small handful of mixed nuts, a small handful eaten as a snack or sprinkled over meals, is one of the simplest upgrades you can make to your diet. Don't be afraid of the calories. The research consistently shows that nut eaters tend to have healthier body weights, better heart health, and longer lives than those who avoid nuts. That should tell you something important. We're now at number six, and this one is both ancient and modern at the same time, something that cultures around the world have relied on for centuries, and that nutritional science is now confirming with remarkable research. I'm talking about fermented foods, yogurt, kefir, kimchi, sauerkraut, miso, and tempeh. And the reason I'm so passionate about fermented foods is because of what they do for your gut and what your gut does for the rest of you. Your gut is home to trillions of microorganisms, bacteria, fungi, and other microbes that collectively form what we call the gut microbiome. This internal ecosystem is involved in digestion, immune regulation, inflammation control, neurotransmitter production, and even how you respond to stress. When the microbiome is healthy and diverse, the ripple effects on your overall health are enormous. When it's out of balance, which can happen from poor diet, stress, antibiotics, or lack of sleep, all kinds of problems can arise. Fermented foods contain live beneficial bacteria known as probiotics, and when you eat them regularly, you are actively replenishing and supporting your gut community. A landmark study published in a major scientific journal found that a diet high in fermented foods significantly increased microbiome diversity and decreased markers of inflammation. And those effects were more powerful than even a high fiber diet alone. That finding genuinely excited me, and it reinforced what many of us in the health community had suspected for a long time. Fermented foods are not just a trend. They are a fundamental part of eating for long term health. Now, you don't have to eat kimchi if that's not your thing. A daily serving of quality plain yogurt with live and active cultures is a great place to start. Kefir, which is a fermented milk drink, is even richer in probiotics and very easy to drink on its own or blend into a smoothie. If you prefer plant-based options, look for fermented coconut yogurt or try adding a little miso to soups and dressings, sauerkraut on the side of a meal, tempeh as a protein source. These small additions, made consistently, can genuinely shift the balance of your gut health over time, and the benefits will be felt far beyond your digestive system. And now we come to number 7, the final food on this list. And I want to be upfront with you. When I tell you what it is, there's a chance you might think, that's it? Really? But please don't underestimate it. This food has been studied extensively, praised by nutritionists, celebrated by traditional medicine for thousands of years, and it consistently shows up in the diets of some of the healthiest, longest living populations on Earth. I'm talking about garlic. Yes, garlic. The humble, pungent, irreplaceable garlic. And here's why I put it on this list. Garlic contains a compound called allicin, which is formed when garlic is chopped, crushed, or chewed. Allicin is one of the most bioactive sulfur compounds found in any food, and it has been shown to have antibacterial, antiviral, antifungal, and anti inflammatory properties. When you eat garlic regularly, you are giving your immune system a constant, gentle boost. Studies have shown that people who eat garlic regularly have fewer colds, recover faster when they do get sick, and show lower markers of chronic inflammation compared to those who don't. But garlic's benefits extend well beyond immunity. Research has found that regular garlic consumption can meaningfully lower blood pressure in people with hypertension. In some studies, the effect was comparable to that of certain blood pressure medications, though I always encourage you to work with your doctor if you're managing any medical condition. Garlic has also been shown to improve cholesterol levels, specifically lowering LDL, the so called bad cholesterol, while leaving HDL levels intact. For heart health, this is genuinely significant. And then there's garlic's role as a prebiotic, meaning it contains compounds that feed and support the beneficial bacteria in your gut. So it works beautifully alongside the fermented foods I just talked about. Garlic feeds the good bacteria, fermented foods deliver them. Together, they're a team. I want to give you one practical tip about garlic that I share with everyone. When you chop or crush garlic, let it sit for about 10 minutes before you heat it. That waiting period allows the allicin to fully form, and then it's more stable when it's cooked. It's a tiny habit that maximizes the nutritional benefit, and eating a little raw garlic in a dressing, blended into hummus, or mixed into a sauce is even more powerful if you can handle the taste. Okay, so let's bring all of this together because I want to make sure you leave this video with something really practical in your hands. The 7 foods I've walked you through today are leafy greens, fatty fish, berries, legumes, nuts, fermented foods, and garlic. And I want you to notice something. None of these require a prescription, a personal chef, or a large grocery budget. These are foods that have been available to humans for millennia. They are foods your body recognizes. They are foods your cells know how to use. The barrier to eating them is not access or cost, it's habit, and habits can be built. Here's what I want to challenge you to do. Don't try to change everything at once. That path leads to overwhelm and giving up. Instead, pick just one food from this list, the one that feels most accessible, most appealing, or most interesting to you, and commit to eating it every single day for the next 2 weeks. Just 2 weeks. See how you feel. See if your energy shifts, if your digestion improves, if your sleep gets a little better, if you feel a little more like yourself. And then, when that habit is solid, add another one. This is how real, lasting change happens, not through a dramatic overnight overhaul, but through small, consistent, intentional choices that compound over time. Your body is not a machine that you run until it breaks down and then fix. It is a living system that is constantly responding to the information you give it. Every meal is a message. Every food you choose is a signal. And when you consistently send your body the message that you are nourishing it, protecting it, and taking care of it, it responds, it heals, it strengthens, it thrives, and you deserve that. You deserve to feel good, not someday, now. I also want to say this because I think it matters. There is no perfect diet. There is no single food that will fix everything or protect you from every challenge. Health is not about perfection, it's about direction. It's about moving meal by meal, day by day, toward a way of eating that supports who you want to be and how you want to feel. If you have a day where you eat none of these foods, that's okay. Tomorrow is another opportunity. What matters is the pattern over time, not any single moment. And if you're dealing with a specific health condition, if you're managing a chronic illness, or if you have dietary restrictions that affect what's possible for you, I always encourage you to work with a qualified healthcare provider who can give you personalized guidance. The information I share here is meant to educate, inspire, and empower, not to replace the relationship you have with your own doctor or nutritionist. General principles matter, but your individual situation matters more. Now, I want to hear from you genuinely. Which of these 7 foods surprised you the most? Was there something on this list that you didn't know was so powerful? Is there a food you're already eating that you're now going to feel even better about? Or is there one you've been avoiding that you're willing to give a second chance? Leave your answer in the comments right now. Your comment might be the exact encouragement someone else needs to make a change today. And if this video gave you something valuable, a new perspective, a piece of motivation, a fact you didn't know, please share it with someone you care about: a friend, a family member, a partner, a parent. Health is something we build together, and the simple act of sharing good information is one of the kindest things you can do for the people in your life. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for choosing to invest in your health and in yourself. That decision, the choice to learn, to grow, to do better, is not a small thing. It's the foundation of everything. Keep going, keep nourishing yourself, and I'll see you in the next one.